Remember when Buzz Aldrin punched that guy out?
Yeah, that was awesome. That was sick. I watched a documentary with that guy recently. That guy's so aggravating. Oh, did you land on the moon? Oh, I know you didn't land on the moon. I can prove it.
You're a coward. You're a liar and a coward. And Buzz Aldrin popped him one.
Deserved, in my opinion.
So good.
That dude's crazy. I saw a documentary with him. He has like dedicated his entire life to following around the astronauts that he says claimed they went to the moon. That dude is like crazy, bro.
Wow.
Really?
That was like that was multiple times that he had like come sideways at that astronaut like that. It was Buzz Aldrin, you said,
I
right?
thought Buzz Aldrin popped him the first time he ever met him, but I guess not.
Now
he's taking all he could take.
Now it could be because he knew who he was. I very well could be misinterpreting it. I was under the impression they had come across each other, but he didn't know who he was. That doesn't necessarily mean that he harassed him like that. You're right.
Yeah, what a maniac.
Yeah, he said, I've got documentation to prove it and all this. And I have to admit, up until I met Wendigoon, I really wasn't all that into conspiracies in general. When people start talking about conspiracies, I just kind of tune it out. It's, not very interesting to me. But man, I did see some stuff that made the moon landing looked really sketchy to me. And I was questioning myself, like, I can't question this. That's crazy people talk, because they were like showing about how the foot sinks in 3 inches, but the space shuttle didn't sink in. And it had me convinced for a minute. And then I just read all the explanations. And
I saw like either Japan or India, I don't remember which, maybe even South Korea, some foreign space agency flew around the moon the other day and like took pictures of the landing site. It
would have been a globally coordinated effort here to try and pretend we went to the moon.
Yeah,
and I saw this documentary and it was so good. And at the end of it, I was like, this is how they get people like this, because I'm going to go look up the answers to these questions instead of insisting there is no answer to them, And they were talking about why a foot seemed like it sunk in, but it didn't look like the shuttle did, et cetera, and that we landed there. And I was like, that solves it. I
think we'll go back to the moon and at some point soon-ish. I think with our lifetime, we'll go to the moon. They kept my whole lifetime. We've been talking about Mars, and I don't think it's going to happen in our lifetime. I don't think they're going to do it. I think they'll
any closer. Are we any closer?
Oh, we could do it right now if we wanted.
Or Elon Musk.
It's just kind of spending the money, like.
And it would be a one-way trip at this point, right? If I understand correctly.
No. Well,
I read an article about that when I was in county jail, which was 10 years ago.
They could make it a one-way trip, and it would be, if they wanted to, it'd be a lot easier.
I don't think they're going to get many volunteers until they lie and say it's a two-way trip.
True.
Well, we're not looking for volunteers to colonize. We're talking about like the first man or woman to step.
You know, it would actually be like
we're talking about sending like 3 or 4 guys.
Like we could, how Australia was just like Britain sending rapists and murderers and thieves.
Yeah.
Let them storm the beach, man. Like ship a bunch of criminals out there
to go first.
See, you're under the impression that there aren't like highly trained experts chomping at the bit to get behind.
No, they're there too, but we're not going to let highly trained experts take needless risks on Mars.
They'll die.
It's going if there's something where it's like, how deep is this pit? Well,
push it in me.
The kind of questions you need answers.
You just push them in and tell them to count out loud, and you wait until they stop.
How hot is Mars fire? 3. We don't know.
How hot is Mars fire?
Yeah, I don't know.
There's no Mars fire.
There's
no Mars fire.
Is there not? You couldn't light a fire on Mars?
No.
Why not? There's not enough. You need like an oxygen tank.
There's barely an atmosphere at all, much less oxygen.
Okay, well, you need like a Bunsen burner or something, and see what would happen, right? Because then that would be an external fuel. It could start the fire.
I would assume so, unless it uses a lot of oxygen.
Exactly. Have you seen like the way? I think it was a NASA thing that. Thank God we know this for the billions of dollars. If you light a match in space, the flame just stays around it in a circle. And think of the applications. I'm not even going to get into them. It would take all episode. No, so much of space travel seems to be like, we need this for technology. It's like, what are you coming up with? Dry water? And it's like, water that you can get in.
They've been leaning on Velcro for 30 years now, 50 years. I don't know.
Oh yeah, Velcro and
why have we gone from hating on Elon Musk to the entire space agency?
What has space ever done for me?
Yeah,
so many.
Produce the planet. Hopefully,
do you know what GPS is?
No. Josh, the construction of this planet saved us from the harshness of space.
In space, though, it is still the cradle for Earth.
Look,
yeah.
I live in space personally. I've spent most of my life in space. I'm a big fan of space personally.
No, I'm a terrestrial boy. through and through.
We say fuck satellites and all that. I didn't even think about GPS personally. I was like, we really haven't done all that much in space, but yeah, GPS is pretty nice. Satellite TV,
huge W GPS
clocks.
Yes.
No one's taking GPS away from them.
We're not belittling
the
GPS
car with me. I couldn't find my house without GPS.
Yeah, I remember Garmin. Do you remember Garmin being a thing you could put in your car in 2002, 2003?
Was that the little GPS thing?
It was the little GPS with that had a bag of sand it sat on and it sat on the top of your dash, and that revolutionized, that changed the game for me because I was no longer worried about getting lost all the time. That's been around for 20 years. What have you done for me lately is what I would say to NASA.
We made faster GPS and it's on your phone now. That's about it. Well, at least accessible instantly on your phone. I think that might be about the leap and bound here.
Yeah, but that's double counting GPS.
The fact that I have no answers for you says nothing about the fucking space engine.
I think it says everything. I think everyone listening can draw their conclusions in time.
If a layperson can't explain the benefits of space travel, damn it.
Oh, what are we doing? Spy pictures.
I think, but we don't get any benefit from that. I guess Google Earth is pretty sick, but we get to play that stupid game.
GeoGuessr. Okay. All right. Okay.
GeoGuessr W.
That is 2, but GeoGuessr is just a form of GPS. So it's really trying to triple count the same GPS.
I don't think it requires satellites at all, though. It's just that truck driving around taking pictures, right?
What is
GeoGuessr
one thing?
Probably.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, but how would they know where to go?
View.
But the satellite is
probably just drive.
Okay, well, by that,
nowhere to go.
By that logic, all things are GPS. So just don't do that.
Whoa. No, I don't like it. I don't think they've done anything useful in the last 20 years. GPS, like all the examples of GPS triple counting. What have they done? Have they made a more a tastier chicken? Like anything like that?
Y'all know a real physicist would be shutting us down.
Tractors are self-drive now. I'm going to quadruple count GPS.
What does it use to self-drive?
There's no telling. I don't know.
Always has been.
Oh, they've done so much more than GPS. Here's 5 things immediately related to global positioning.
They keep making it better.
Yeah.
I think the future of that, like the next big leap, is being able to mine an asteroid and maybe bring it close enough that you have this. You could go fetch an asteroid and bring it into like our orbit or something and just be up there mining it at close orbit at your leisure and sending whatever the raw materials back to Earth.
You think that would like destroy like Earth's economy? Like imagine that we do that and we pull it off and it's a meteorite or asteroid with
literally the most precious metal.
as much gold as is on Earth or something.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought because I've heard them like talk about asteroids that would be like that. That would be so rich in rare Earth materials, like things that here are very rare, but wouldn't be perhaps in an asteroid.
$1 trillion asteroid, right?
It'd probably it'd become like the De Beers Corporation, where like whatever company owned the gold infinite supply would just release it in such a slow, measured supply that they could artificially inflate the price.
And that's kind of the whole point of the Expanse, right? That you've got those guys out there mining the asteroid belt and sending the raw materials back to Earth and Mars, the inner planets. But they've just built cities on the bigger asteroids, and they're flying around mining them all the time. No, I think that's like the next. If humanity lives for another 100 or 200 years, I think that's our next big thing is mining asteroids. It has to be
probably that before colonization. I would think, yeah.
It would drive colonization. It would be like a gold rush. It would be like a gold rush for space. The same way the gold rush drove so many people from the east and the west to California.
Imagine this: 0-calorie food.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Like the applications of space travel. If they came up with 0-calorie food,
like a pill you take and it has all the nutrients.
They make 0-calorie food. It just sucks.
Well, the 0-calorie.
Have you heard of celery?
Yeah, not celery. Like steak, 0-calorie steak, 0-calorie shrimp, 0-calorie surf and turf. There's more than just steak and shrimp, but that's what I'm thinking about.
Keep naming foods.
So what's the purpose of 0 calorie?
Shrimp.
What's the purpose of it? Like so you don't have to.
I think you just want to have a big meal.
It's so you can overindulge and not feel bad about it.
I thought that was.
Oh, so like literally not. I thought this was like you were saying. For us to get deep into space, we're gonna have to make this 0 calorie. But
this is just about like. If they could do that, think of the marketing potential. Who would have to be sold on 0-calorie food? No one. Everyone would be eating it.
Good.
So you know how you ever see one of those cows that has the port in its side so that you can see its digestive system?
Yeah.
No, I've seen clear sides on motorcycles, so you can see how they work.
They do this to cows too. So
really,
they cut a hole,
like a vinyl window on a cow.
Almost. They cut a hole in the side. Show us a picture, Zach. Look up cow with port inside. That'll do it. That'll
cow skylight.
But they have this. They got this hole in the side with like a plug, so they can like pop the plug out and reach in and like be like, "This is how the cow's stomach works." You see, I think that what you want.
This is true.
Zach's about to show us. What you want is one of these, Taylor. And you want one of these ports where your belly button is. And every time you have a meal, you just take your shot back and you stick it in the port, and you suck the meal back out of your stomach, and then you go right back to dinner. Okay.
See,
and I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. I don't want a port in my belly button, but where they're going to come in 8 different styles. I got an 8 ball. Okay. Mine looks like an 8 ball, and it's styled. And this is called sixpackforyou.com. I install them.
Can I have like a skull and can I have a skull and crossbones on
option 3, yes.
I'll take a heart made out of a domino.
I thought this idea was stupid until I imagined my belly button replaced with one of those ship's wheels with all the prongs out the side. Then.
And you're gonna feel stupid until you're 10,000 calories into a feast, and it's all just being fed into a bucket that you then go donate
until your teeth hurt.
What the fuck is with these cows?
Crazy.
That one's leaking out his port.
Yeah, it's not
leaking.
It's because they put diesel in it.
That's a diesel powered cow.
That cow looks miserable.
That's not miserable. It's got hay.
I'm Steve-O, and this is put sugar in your cow's gas tank.
This cow's totally not going to work anymore.
Yeah. Wait for Farmer John to come out.
So the purpose of this, in my experience, has been for an educational type thing, so that you can show the multi-chambered heart, stomach of a cow and how it ruminates and digests and everything. It was part of school. We looked at a cow, and the guy reached inside of it and got some goo out and showed us the goo, and
it doesn't hurt the cow at all.
Oh no, we all took turns fucking it.
This really does look
no, nothing like that. That looks evil to you.
To be uncomfortable. Like
the cows love it. They love it when you. They like it when you scratch them behind the port.
They like it when you open it up and give their little intestine massage.
Tickle the inside of the udder. It makes their leg kick.
Poor guy.
It's a little sad, I guess. I think that if aliens came down and didn't differentiate between intelligences, they were like, the humans, they're like this tiny amount smarter than the cows, but they keep the cows in that pen, still their babies, and put ports in their stomach. We'd look like some real villains.
See, but I don't buy that thing. We're like, what race would be so beyond our intelligence that intelligence and analytic ability would prevent them from discerning between 2 wildly different populations, i.e. us and cattle?
Maybe
if they were that smart, they would not go, they are all similar in our eyes. They would be like, well, this is clearly the dominant species on Earth, much smarter than the rest, pretty dumb by our standards, but look how they subjugate the lower creatures.
I think a popular thing.
Do you differentiate between insects? Are you like ants are so much smarter than grasshoppers and rodents?
If grasshoppers had societies that had buildings and structures and organized
termite mound.
Ants build houses.
Literally, ants do that. Like ants must think themselves the humans of the insect.
They have a queen.
Look at this. We have a queen. We have a social structure. We have
bees do something similar.
We're building structures with these tunnels underneath. Crickets, on the other hand, just jump around like idiots. They're not smart like us ants.
That is true.
Here we are so much smarter than both crickets and ants. Me at least.
You and I did the other day.
Getting this. and we think that crickets and ants are basically similarly stupid.
Right.
But
you guys
the same way that but even just now in this conversation, we revealed that we do put value on the ability of the ant to form structures.
Now you say we, but it was me. You, on the other hand, weren't getting it. Therefore, in the hierarchy of people, I'm just saying.
I don't know. It seems like I'm implementing your argument to beat what you were trying to say.
Well, see, the problem here, Taylor, is if the aliens send astronauts like you wanted to, they send those retards, then they're not going to be able to differentiate between anything. They're just going to kill us all. I think that maybe the aliens. If you want to
take my argument and act like it's yours, then I'll just call you Elon.
Well, like maybe
yes, this is true.
Maybe the aliens that come don't even have bodies. Maybe they're like machine people, like intelligences in a machine. So when they look at like humans and ants, there's not a huge difference because we're all biological.
They wouldn't be living though. They would have been created by something else.
They could have taken their intelligence and injected it into machinery long ago, and now they travel the endless reaches of space with their infinite lives, living in their machine craft.
That's a real sci-fi theory. That's what I assumed he meant, is the continued consciousness in a machine.
Why not?
Would it be their consciousness? Isn't that interesting?
Now that is a different topic.
Like, how would you download it on? It would be like copy and pasting a document. So you would die, and then a mimicry of you would survive.
That's the whole transporter paradox.
Be you.
Yeah, that's the transporter paradox in Star Trek. So when you beam someone to one place to another, it tears you into a million tiny pieces down to your atoms, remembers how they were stuck together, and tells the machine somewhere else to build a new you, basically, with the atoms in the same place. And you pop out, and you're like, hey, I made it. But it's not really you. You died back on the fucking Enterprise, jackass.
Yeah, it's just a new you every time, right?
Season 1, Captain Picard, you're dead. And Bones never wanted to get on the thing, and he kept making him. It was mean.
Died over and over again.
Interesting.
I would say that I look at most animals, and this is not correct, but this is like a blanket way of looking at it. I look at pretty much animals as animals. That's not really correct. Some monkeys use kind of tools, and some species of animals. Dolphins seem to have really intricate communication.
Both those species discovered
houses. Oh yeah, and utilize it to the fullest extent, which very few species have successfully pulled off. By the way,
the orangutan.
That can't be true. I think they all know how to rape. You ever see a frog gangbang?
I've seen some dogs where it was definitely not consensual.
The frogs. I was looking today. The frogs like getting this big pod together, this mash, and the females just start spraying eggs everywhere, and the males show up and they just jizz like they shoot more cum than I do, and it's this big foamy like eruption of
Good
cum.
For them.
And like 5 or 6 of them at a time are just covered in eggs and cum. And they're just doing that ribbit thing all balled up together. It looks like a hell of a time.
So it's like 6 males all hoping that their sperm cloud.
Zach, would you Google frog orgy real quick? and you're going to get a picture of like a bunch of little green tree frogs all balled up together fucking. And there ought to be a lot of foam. I want a lot of foam.
Look up.
Lots of foam.
Extra foam.
Look up the foam. Gay frog orgy. I want to see if Alex Jones is onto something here.
Actually, I went hardcore and binged frog orgy. You cannot show these images.
Damn,
don't
frog.
Bing it.
Bing, the search engine for degenerates.
Dude, Bing is where the porn is.
Pedophile search engine. Someone was telling me
9 out of 10 pedophiles agree.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also the search engine of Wings of Redemption. Coincidence?
Ooh, that's gross.
Oh,
that is frothy.
Wait, I've seen that video.
So much heat for that.
Wait, is that the frog? Oh my god!
Yeah, that's cum. That's cum.
Oh, it's frog.
They're all dumping loads on the big piles of eggs.
And there's like one poor girl under there somewhere, allegedly.
Of course, she's having the time of her life.
She was literally made for this. This is her maximum dopamine, absolute biological. She was built for it, and no other purpose than to be
Which
drowned
one is
in
the
frog
female?
Semen.
Yes.
That's what they're asking right now. Which one's the female?
Well,
sorry, Frank.
Again, like I think they're just like shooting eggs out, and then they're like coming all over the eggs. So like I don't even know why they're hanging around.
Yeah, I knew that was a lot.
What else?
To be a lock and load tie-in.
I mean, what else do they possibly have to do other than hang out?
They were taking lock and load. Only one frog could have made that much fun.
All right, we've seen enough frog come. Thank you, Zach. Appreciate it.
I don't think there's any lock and load in this week's rotating GIF.
Oh, there should have been, because God damn it. We're selling the best cum pills on the internet, and it's important that people know about it.
Load in there, the finest cum pills money can buy, people. So,
for what it's worth, I was going to say I think that all animals are basically same degree of intellect, man. That's not technically true. They're not. No, I'm just saying that I look at it as like we got humans, and then everything else is on that totem pole of they're kind of conscious or not. That's not true.
That's racist or specious or something.
Yeah, it definitely is. I'm more into Homo sapiens over all other species, man. I think they're the master species.
Oh yeah.
Gay.
I'm just going to say that I'm coming right here on PKA. I think the Homo sapiens is the master species on planet Earth.
I'd rather.
It's possible an alien wouldn't think I'm really worthy of life. I guess I mean, I don't say I used to hunt when I was younger. I'm a felon now, obviously, but I used to go kill deer. Deer don't build houses, but I stomp on an anthill when I see it. I kind of regard them both as
stomp on them.
I'm alpha, not anymore, but when I was younger,
I still do.
Yeah, I'll stomp on an ant.
I thought we
were about to connect.
Yeah, I will. I'll connect with you on that one. If I see an anthill,
I did in Mississippi. Now I'm in New Orleans.
We don't
the
like
answer
your
this
kind
big.
here.